Hello there, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Let's talk today about one of my favorite topics, and that is publishing. Okay. This idea of doing what I'm doing right now, speaking in front of a camera, speaking in front of a microphone, coming to you, sharing thoughts, original ideas that I have as a result of the study and research that I do on a regular basis. By the way, I'll say, if you're not learning, if you're not growing, if you're not actively trying to become better in your field, better at what you do, then I think you're a long term, you're not going to succeed. There is a concept that I'm working on developing. I'll just go ahead and share that kind of meta with you right now. This concept that I'm working on developing of mastery as marketing. Believe it or not, I've not been able to find too much on this. In fact, if you're listening, do you have a resource that I could use, I could find, I could read to help inform my study on this? I would really love to have that. And what's the idea? Well, the idea is that Steve Martin, and I'm going to kind of work through a frustration here with you. So Steve Martin, when he was once asked why he's such a successful comedian, right? There's hundreds and I mean thousands of comedians. Why is he so successful? He gave the bit of advice that you just have to be so good that they can't ignore you. Be so good they can't ignore you. Now, something that's frustrating about this to me is that so Newport, many of you have probably read his book Deep Work or another one like that. He actually wrote a book about this called "So Good They Can't Ignore You." And what kind of frustrates me about the whole enterprise is that I think he's latched onto a phrase. He used it in an appropriate way, but I mean, and he credits, right, Steve Martin for the original sort of insight on this. But I think now that phraseology, "so good they can't ignore you," has taken on this meaning that Cal Newport is trying to teach, which is more about why you don't necessarily want to do what you're passionate about. You want to develop a skill and get good at that, etc. Okay. But for Steve Martin, what he meant by that is that, like, from a marketing perspective, like, he was just so good and he got so good that he couldn't be ignored. And so I think there's something to this idea of marketing as mastery. Okay, I think it's very important. And regardless, though, like, so what is my point there? Well, my point is that you need to be learning. Okay, you need to be learning. You need to be getting better at what you do, because the better you get at what you do, the more the word will spread about how good you are. Look, people want to work with people who do good work. It's just that simple. And this is true whether in business or employment or whatever. But there's a key thing that most people are missing. And the key is that no matter how good the work is that you do, people still have to know about it somehow. You know, I was thinking of the example of Elon Musk. Okay, he's in the news a lot lately for many different reasons, but his example is one that interests me because he's a CEO, right, of a few different, you know, well-known companies at this point. Okay, and yet he knows the intimate details of how his spacecrafts work. He knows the intimate details of how every piece of his car is assembled. He doesn't just assemble experts and then lead the experts. He dives in with them. Now, okay, fine. He's got a photographic memory. Okay, that helps him quite a bit. But nevertheless, it's true that he is in the weeds. He's doing the learning. He is pushing that growth. And yet, he's also a very vocal person. Right now, I doubt that the man thinks very much about marketing. Okay. But this is what's important. His ideas are spreading. His ideas are spreading. Now, he has he has elements of the, like, attractive character. We talked about that last week, right? He's got a new opportunity. He's got a future-based cause, right? He is an attractive character in himself with stories of failure, of success, right? So there are important elements to this, but he's a publisher at the very least. Now, I think he could be publishing more, right? It's actually surprising to me, right? He doesn't have a podcast. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. He doesn't, but his company's published, and he is very vocal and a very public figure, and he shares his ideas. It's not just, oh, here's what's going on in the company today. It's backed by a philosophical idea. So he and his companies are publishers. By the way, SpaceX, they are so good at this. Like, they All of their rocket launches, I don't know if you know this, all of their rocket launches are on YouTube. Every time they do a launch, they run through like a 2 or 3 hour sequence of actually explaining different things and bringing in different people. And these things get millions of views. His company, they are publishers. Okay. They're media people. And Elon is often given the opportunity through news and through other outlets, media outlets, to actually get his ideas out there and to spread them. So publishing is very important. Publishing is how you take all of that knowledge that you're learning and that mastery that you're coming up with, and you're doing good work. Publishing is how you get that out there and spread those big ideas to other people in ways that matter. So I just want to say three things about this. First is that to publish is to be human, and it's our incredible opportunity. It is something so powerful, so special. No other animal can do this. We have the unique ability to be able to publish. It's our incredible opportunity. We can share it. We have the tools now are better than ever before. Yes, we still face issues with censorship, and because we're human, we're going to have issues there. But there's still no gatekeepers. Anybody today can start a Facebook account, an Instagram account, a YouTube account, a transistor.fm account, and set up and start putting podcasts into the world. Anybody can do what I'm doing. Now, in one sense, you might think, well, that dilutes things, right? That makes it not so special. On the other hand, it's very special. Why? Most people won't do it. The ones that do it, especially in podcasting, there's a legitimate phenomena called pod fade, where most podcasts don't last more than 7 episodes. It's well studied, well researched, and I mean, it's true. If you can last more than 7 episodes, you're doing better than most of the podcasts that you search for in a directory. Most of them are inactive, by the way. Okay, and it, again, there's just no gatekeepers. You can start all these accounts, you can do all these different things, and get out there and start spreading the word about what you do and who you're doing it for today. And guess what? Some of these things are a slow growth path. Some of these things, I mean, Nathan Barry said you got to endure long enough to get noticed. Okay. I say it often because it's true. The one who sticks to the end wins. It's just that simple, right? So stop stopping. Keep on going. It's your incredible opportunity. Let's get it out there today. The second thing I want to say is that it's important because it's the new way to business. Okay. This is the new way to business, is to get your ideas out there, to share your ideas, to out-teach, to out-educate others, versus just interrupting them with advertising all the time. Is there a place for advertising? Of course there is. But what people want in 2022 is to be taught. They want to be educated. And plenty of people have proven the model over and over again, where you can teach for free and still get paid to teach. Lots of money, by the way, if you are going after that on the back end. Okay. People will listen to your ideas for free. They will also go deeper to get your more structured thoughts and ideas in a paid relationship. And you have some people who don't go that route at all. For example, you've got Gary Vee. Gary Vee, will not sell a course or anything like that, right? But he just wants to publish. Okay. He publishes, he gives it all away. And then he has a services company that makes money ultimately as a result. It's one model. The point is, it's the new way to business. Content-driven business, publishing. You're a media company first. You're a marketing company first. That's how we get out there. Okay. So to publish is to be human. It's our incredible opportunity. It's a new way to business. And then this last one is important, and it's a big philosophical motivator for me. And that's this, that sharing is an assumption of society. Sharing is an assumption of society. I'm not going to pretend to have read Ayn Rand or any of, her books and ideas and things, but I do know that in the book, Atlas Shrugged, you do get this idea of the producer versus the consumer. And I just want to sort of steal that framework and apply it here. You have two kinds of people, broadly speaking. You've got people who consume and people who produce. Of course, producers consume a little, consumers produce a little. But for the most part, you've got production-focused people and consumption-focused people. The thing is this, the world needs production-focused people, or else the world can't work, because your consumption-focused people would have nothing to consume. Now, I don't think it's fair to say that it's morally better to be a producer versus a consumer, but I do think it says something that the only people who are driving society forward by very nature are the producers. No producers, then everything falls and everything fails. So if you're not currently learning, if you're not trying to achieve mastery in what you do, if you're not trying to get better, and if you're not telling others about it, if you're not sharing your knowledge with others so that the next generation has something to come back to, then in one sense, I kind of want to ask, like, what are you doing with your life? Right? What are you doing? You need I think it's your obligation to share, to communicate with others, to pass down your ideas. Now, maybe it's not on a platform like YouTube or a podcast. Maybe it is though. Yeah, but maybe there's a local group, or maybe it's even just your children. Like, are you teaching? Are you passing things on to the next generation? And that to do that, it requires and assumes that you're learning something. So sharing, publishing, spreading your ideas, this is an assumption of a functioning society. And so if you're not doing that right now, I just want to encourage you to like start, you know, get up, get off the couch or whatever. It's a hard thing. Do hard things and do it. Download anchor.com today in the App Store. Record a podcast on your phone. Russell Brunson, I talk about him often, one of the most epic marketers of our day and probably of all time, to be honest, records his podcast using the microphone on his iPhone. Stop making excuses. You don't have to pay for lots of expensive equipment. You don't have to jump through lots of hoops. Super easy to do. You can get started in 5 minutes from now if you wanted to. The question is, do you want to? If you don't want to, maybe start asking some questions of yourself as to why you don't want to and fix it. All right. All right. That's all I have for you today. To publish is to be human. It's our incredible opportunity. It's the new way to business, and sharing is an assumption of society. Get out there, start doing it today. Get off your butt. This is your kick in the butt for this week, and let's get it going. God bless. Take care. See you in the next episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us.